There you go.
Oh, we're in a Jag. It's a bit fancy.
80s luxury, apparently.
Yes. So, a 4.2 litre?
Yep, 4.2 litre straight 6.
Yes.
Twin overhead cams.
Yes. Injected?
Yeah, first generation fuel injection.
Okay, yep. And 3-speed auto?
Yeah, 3-speed. If my research serves me correct, it's Borg-Werner gearbox and Borg-Werner diff.
Okay, yep.
So,
and there's no overdrive or any of that?
No overdrive, we just got 3 very long gears. First gear's very polite, it shunts you in the arse when it climbs into it.
And what sort of weight is it?
Just over 2.5 tonne.
Okay, yep. See, that's quite typical of its time, isn't it, really? It's a big sedan.
Yeah.
It looks very comfy. I mean, it's comfy up here.
You've got a lot of car for your weight. You know, you put it up next to a modern car, like we put it next to us, and it's actually quite small.
Yes, yeah, well, yeah, and yet that's what I'm tripping out on here, is that the inside feels really small.
We don't feel like we're sitting on each other's laps.
No, but it also feels like the area I'm in is quite small. Like, this feels bigger than it should be, and but that's just the car of its era, isn't it? What did you say it was? 82. 82. It's the same as my Starlet, effectively.
Yeah. I think we worked out they were only months apart.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wampa.
Full power. And that's foot flat. It's a very interesting car to drive. It's the kind of thing that it forces you to slow down, and that's why when we did end up making it to the South Island with it, which in all honesty was one of the things I thought we weren't actually going to manage, it was a lot of fun because we saw parts of the country that you wouldn't normally see. And we're only running with about half the oil pressure we need, but good old British engineering, we may make it.
We don't need the rest anyway, it's a waste of oil. This is my first time driving anything of this ilk at all, I think. So 1982 Jag. You just leave it in drive?
Just leave it in drive.
Okay, so we're in drive. Full performance drive mode.
Drop the handbrake.
Drop the handbrake, which
under
is...
the dash.
Oh, wow. I have driven something like that before. I think a Marina. I had a Hillman Marina. Oh, it's all coming flooding back. Hillman Marina. That's... Wow, the pedals are weird. Indicator out. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. My door shut? No, my door wasn't shut.
Oh, push handle on the outside down.
On the outside?
Sorry, it's second nature for me.
Handle's down.
Let's go.
Door is now closed. Now let's pull out again. Okay. No one's coming. Oh, the pedal feels weird.
It's hinged from the bottom.
It's a real driver's car, eh? Yeah. This is awesome.
It is.
Oh, the seat wants to fall away.
It is fun to drive. Like, it's the kind of car you get in because you want to go have a laugh.
Okay, I'm flooring it. Oh, feel the power. That's 80 k's. That's not ridiculous. I see what you mean once you actually get into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're driving it though. It feels like you're sort of suggesting it.
That's the best way to put it. It's a suggestive car.
Yeah.
You suggest your destination and it takes its own way.
Yeah. I can see the reason for driving this.
When you don't want to be quick, which is not often, but when you don't, you want to just go cruise, it's the perfect car to do it. And the massive back seat means that all 3 kids can get in the back and we don't have any fighting.
It actually feels like you could be a bit spirited.
You can be.
Cruising along in a Hyundai. 60 mile for the American viewers. I know that because it's on my dash. It's actually a mile-an-hour dash. 4 beans.
It was brought for Gumboot.
Yes.
The car wholeheartedly was brought because I was stupid enough to go, let's risk it for the biscuit and send this down the South Island.
I'll start with my first and most important question. Couldn't afford a Rolls Royce?
Well, that is half the problem. At the time, my pocket didn't extend quite to where I wanted it to. A Rolls Royce would have been epic.
Why did you buy the Jag?
So there's multiple reasons. The first reason was Stacey and I were driving Mackenzie country in September last year in a motorhome with the 3 kids.
Yeah.
We're driving along, and we looked at each other like, how cool would this be to do this in a classic car? Because it's just like open plains, as you know, driving through, these massive open plains. You've got the Alps on one side, and then you've got, I don't know, some form of big hill on the other side. And it's just absolutely serene. And we've always had this thing about, like, my family has a history with Jags, Stacey's family has a history with Jags, and it was, everyone you talk to either has a Jag story or knows someone who has a Jag story or has had an interaction with a Jag at some point in their lives.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of all of that coupled with me browsing Trade Me and finding this absolute wreck of a Jag. For I think at the time the option was at like $500. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? So, cheeky $1,000 bid, come to within, I think it was an hour of closing, and we were out for lunch. And I'm sitting there and I'm sneakily watching this auction, getting a little bit excited. So I'm like, I'm gonna get a Jag for $1,000. What the fuck? And kept scrolling, and then got to, I think it was within 20 minutes, and it jumped up to 1,100, and I went, oh bugger it, 1,250, that's my highest price. How the hell do I tell Stacey I just bought another car? She's sitting across the table from me. It was like, so by the way, you know how we talked about buying a Jag? Yeah, I said, well, I just brought one. And then we sat down and we talked about it, because that was beginning of December. And we joked, you know, how cool would it be to take it to the South Island and actually do Mackenzie country like we said we would. The idea was dreamt up of getting this car back, because it was not running, not driving, full of rust. Like, the state of this thing, you looked at it like, oh, it's got a nice interior. Yeah, it was about as nice as it was. It had all its glass, and that was all we knew, was that it was tidy interior. Which for 40-year-old leather, you can't ask for more. So, we pack up the Jeep about a week later with the trailer on the back, head down to Wellington. It was rough, it was really rough.
Yep.
And I'm standing there, I looked at Stacey and I'm like, what the fuck have I done? Never mind, we can sell it for parts. We'll sell it for parts. We had to push it up this guy's driveway, and it was a reasonable incline, up onto the road, which was a busy main road in Miramar.
Yes.
And then hand crank it onto the trailer. Get it onto the trailer anyway, and we get in the Jeep, and we start heading home. So we did a day trip, which Wellington and back, you know, from New Plymouth, quite a hike.
It's good. 5 hours, do you reckon, for people that don't know?
Yeah,
5 hours each way?
5 hours each way, especially when you go right through the city out the other side to Miramar.
I'd say 350 kilometres
Each
probably
way.
each way. Yep.
Fast forward to home, you know, it's we left really in the morning, so I think we got home about 2:30 o'clock.
In the morning?
No, in the afternoon.
Okay, yep.
Roll this thing off the chair, off the trailer, into the driveway, and I just sort of stood there and stared at it and went, now I've got a very, very large paperweight in my driveway. Let's see if it runs. What's the worst that can happen? Let's see if it runs. Turn the key. Nah. Put a new battery in it, spun it over. Tried to some more. Traced everything out, and turns out this guy had parked this car for 5 years because it had a dud fuel pump.
Oh, wow.
The trippiest thing about it is all the electrics in it work. Like the electric sunroof, the windows, the heater, fans, everything works. All the lights. It was just uncanny that this car, everything worked.
Yep.
So we're out at the beach, we're having a great time, and I start poking at the bottom of the sills. I shouldn't have done that. I brought a MIG welder, I brought a spray gun, and we brought a sheet of panel steel. And I started doing rust. I rebuilt both sills, both sides, around both windscreens. I reassembled the front valance because I managed to find a parts car. Yeah, so I did all the rust in it, and then I thought, oh, well, I'll dust a quick coat of paint over it and we'll be done. Yep. And so we stripped it right back, we primed the whole thing. Stacey and I actually painted it ourselves in the middle of the night while Oliver was asleep in our parted out caravan in the workshop. Yes. And the other two boys were asleep on the sofas, and I'd finished putting the clear coat down, and I looked at her and I'm like, I fucked this up, because there was more orange peel than there was blue. Yes. Like, it looked horrible. And we sanded it down, got to a point where we thought, no, we can't go anywhere. We're happy with that. That'll do. We'll go to the South Island. It's done. And we were ready to go. I think it was 2.5 weeks before we all departed.
So, timeline out for us again. Brought the car.
December the 11th, we picked the car up from
And that was
Miramar. 2022. And
then we did March 16th from memory. 17th we met. So we're talking 3 and a bit months, really.
Yeah, three and a bit months. We took it from a derelict, non-running wreck.
5 year in a paddock.
Yeah, 5 years in a driveway. On average, we were getting between 800 and 1,000 k out of 90 litres while we were down south. I think we fueled, we'd been lucky to have filled 6 full tanks. Yeah, it was between 4.5 and 5,000 k, but door to door.
Yep.
I thought we would have gone through a hell of a lot more fuel.
In the line of the British old school classic for doing a long road trip, if money wasn't a question, what would you have got in place of that car?
If money wasn't an option, and we could have taken anything to do the South Island, anything British, to be honest, it probably would have been the Series 1.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Because the Series 1, they're not expensive, but it's just that little bit older, that little bit cooler. It's carbureted.
Yeah.
It's got a gauge for just about everything you could possibly want on the dash.
Yeah.
And it's just that little bit more removed.
And so what's next with the car?
I was going to sell it.
Oh yeah?
I was going to. But we took it out last weekend to go to a show. We went to that We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
And we jumped in it. And just driving to town, we looked at each other, look, we can't sell this. It's just so different and so cool. So to be perfectly honest, I'll probably pull the motor, fix the oil pressure issue. One of our customers owns an engine rebuilding shop, so I'll probably just hand him so I'll probably rebuild all the drivetrain through it. I'll finish underbody sealing it.
Yep.
I mean, at this point in time, touch wood, it's got no rust. I've taken it all out, so we may as well enjoy it.
Yep.
Like the Series 3 is beautiful because it's got all the suspension you want. It drives like nothing. It's like you're in the cloud.
Yeah.
You're riding on a
absolutely, 100% agree.
And it gets up in boogies. It does what you need it to. Because, I mean, the amount of people that look at you sideways when you're in your 30s and you pull up in an 82 Jag, they're all like, what's wrong with you?
Even when we went for our quick drive then, you pull up places and it's one of those, it's hard to describe. If you're in a normal car, it's normal and that's what 90% of our life does. You go on something a bit fun and you get a reaction. This is a reaction car. You pull up and people just smile, especially the older guys. Older English, I suppose, guys, look at it and you know they've got that story in their mind.
Like I said, everyone's got an interaction. Everyone you talk to about it has had an interaction with the Jag.